This lad's discussions meme is...
Yo dudes, the Empire's pretty chill. Maybe you could join it or something.
Fuck off.
If you wish to send us memes, just so you can get a shout out at the start of these videos, be sure to send them to our Twitter handles. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Let's Discuss Death Battle. Joined with us is Shawnee Doo. I think I've already done that joke.
Run out of jokes so you can never make fun of me forevermore.
There's nothing else that rhymes with poo, so my whole gag about just calling you Shawnee Ooh something this year just didn't work out as well. So
why not just Sean the Han or something? I don't know.
Well, if you heard his voice, Fireball is here in place of your only mate. Your only mate is still recovering from his surgery. We don't want to force him to be on if he's not comfortable, so we're giving him a break. So I guess I should announce, yeah, people, Aaron versus Monster Hunter is delayed again, but you know what? I'd rather my co-host be healthy and not be forced to do an episode. So Fireball, thanks. Oh, that's mean, man. So,
we did that because we don't Monster Hunter versus Aaron again. I understand it, but
yeah, it'll happen, Sean. It'll happen. I know you're excited about it. So Fireball, thanks for joining us and taking mate's place. How are you?
Problem, dude. I'm fine. How's everyone else here?
Well, I shall introduce our fourth person, a guest. I mean, technically two guests, but whatever. You might be familiar with him. He's appeared on Let's Discuss Death, but never actually spoken in our discussion. So let me be the first to introduce to his debut on Let's Discuss Death Battle, Purple Demon. I fucked that up.
Yo, what is up? It is I, the Purple Demon. Thank you for the round of applause.
You flopped that badly,
really
dude.
wanted to be on this podcast. So what I did was that I just did some stupid shit, and eventually I got to this point.
yeah, one of them was blowing up Bill with a grenade launcher. Purple has a grenade launcher? This ain't good for anybody.
Oh, nice.
It will only go poorly.
I expected to.
Mario with a grenade launcher.
They're all ahead of us. You missed. Wait! Purple! Oh my god! How did you nail that shot?
True. Memories.
Check out Sean's video if you're not familiar with that. And also my perspective on that's going to be coming out soon. Right then, so...
Speaking of perspective...
so we're going to be talking about Phoenix versus Raven. It's Jean Grey versus Raven, let's be real here. I know Phoenix is like, you know, that it's kind of like the Skyrim versus Dark Souls.
Dark Souls?
Yeah. So, like, you know, the name just gets more clicks, I guess. And we're going to be talking about the next time, which I'm both hyped but a little bit annoyed by. Not because of the matchup itself, but the thing about the matchup. So let's talk about Raven versus Jean Grey.
I mean, to be fair, would you rather call her Phoenix or Marvel Girl?
I'll be honest, I actually kind of like Marvel Girl.
I'm probably gonna flip-flop from calling her Phoenix and Jean.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, granted, most of these feats in the fight were the Phoenix, so I kind of understand it. So, alright, yeah. So we've danced around it. So, Sean got it right. Raven was the winner, and I saw his reaction this morning. He was a little happy.
I needed that bounce back, man. Unfortunately, in my video, someone has suffered their first loss of the year.
Oh dear.
Yeah, unfortunate.
I haven't really gotten any fight wrong this season with my prediction, but that's because some of them I just didn't predict. Like, I do my own personal predictions, but Vader versus Obito, and this one, I just thought, well, either of them could win, and I wouldn't be surprised.
But also, unfortunately, May got it wrong. Although, to be fair, a lot of people were picking Phoenix.
Yeah, so it's not just
Yeah.
Mate Sean. It's not just Mate Sean. I mean, I was even convinced as well.
I find it really funny how in the comments there are some people who are like, I'm not even gonna watch the episode, I know Phoenix stops.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Surprise!
Right, then. So, let's discuss the analysis. It was, I will admit, it started off pretty slow and stuff like that, but it quickly got funny as, they...
That Jean Grey dies joke. First
Oh
off,
my
like,
god.
It's whatever,
Oh
and
boy.
then just then the screen with the fucking text that said Jean Grey has died a 16th time. I was watching this with my friend in the room, and we both just laughed our asses off. That was great.
And they played the freaking Scottish, like, tribute
Bagpipe.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
It
bagpipes.
was also
like...
the GTA 5 sound was also in there. So Parker was like, how can I make this funny? Oh, I know. La-di-da-di-da. Done.
Yeah,
Comics are fucking crazy. As a man who is researching comics, I agree. Comics are fucking crazy.
yeah. I have to admit, at
Oh,
this
yeah.
point, though, it's... I guess the whole, like, feeling sad at Jean Grey, I don't think it's ever possible to feel sad for Jean Grey dying.
Oh,
Like,
unless you're Scott.
like, it's kind of funny, like, with comic books, like... I mean, DC is also guilty of this, but whenever a character dies, it's really rare to ever see them, like, permanently die. Like, there are some characters that haven't come back ever again, and there are some that are still good. Like, if they were villains and they became good, like, they transferred to the good side, that sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, Doctor Doom
Yeah.
is surprisingly a neutral character now. He's not a villain nor a hero. He's just like defending his country, which is, on one hand, I'm not a huge fan of that. I do like the whole Doctor Doom does not fail. You're beneath me. You know, I do like that version of Doctor Doom, but you know, I guess there's only so long they can keep someone a villain before it just gets tedious.
And plus, if you tried to invade Latveria anyway, you would be met with foot dive.
But overall, the analysis was very entertaining, very informative. I was really surprised at just how so much these... Okay, Death Battle, your Twilight versus Raven is very outdated.
Because you're telling me.
Like,
Yeah.
I remember when Mate was telling us in
always-
the last episode that Ben said, oh, Twilight versus Raven was more even. And I'm just like... I'm not sure past Ben would agree with that anymore.
Eh.
What was I gonna say?
Oh, sorry, was I talking
liked
over you? I'm sorry.
Raven's analysis, but I liked Jean's a bit more, mainly because of that joke, and the fact that I just really love X-Men.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were a big X-Men fan.
Ito is literally my 5th favorite character of all time.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of...
Wait, I have to ask. Purple, you're an X-Men fan. What opening to the old cartoon would you say is better, the English one or the Japanese one?
Don't know, I haven't watched both.
What, the...
come on, really?
I'm a recent X-Men fan, okay?
Oh, right. I thought you were like old school like Sean.
Yeah,
man,
me
I
too.
used to hate comics. Only recently
I
I've
see.
seen the light.
Oh.
Although, there is one thing I'm scared for now that Phoenix's analysis is over. What the fuck's gonna happen to Jocelyn?
Oh, yeah. They never did
She'll
reveal...
probably just be fine in the next episode.
Probably.
I don't know what was worse for her. Researching the entire lore of Dark Souls or the Phoenix Force.
Okay, Law of Dark
Probably.
Souls.
Probably Dark Souls.
The Phoenix Force just looks at the lore of Dark Souls and it's just like, what the fuck is that?
Yep.
And it's just like, rolling, complications, multiverses, and it gets crazier.
At that point, the Phoenix would just give up. Like,
See, that's
they
how
would
you...
just give up if it's not Dark Souls lore.
Do you know, that's what the X-Men needed to do with Jean Grey. They didn't need Wolverine to stab her. They needed to just have her play Dark Souls.
Just imagine that. It's just like Scott's like, honey, I have a game we can play for game night. It's called Dark Souls.
Magneto stopped by a wooden pistol, and Jean Grey stopped by Dark Souls. Oh, great. I do actually agree with Purple. I think the analysis for Jean Grey was better and more funnier. But I do think one of the highlights for me with Raven's analysis was the fact we finally got them to talk about Trigon. Because they've always danced around Trigon, but now we actually got to hear, like, okay, here's why Trigon's a badass motherfucker. Like, I never even knew he defeated...
Trigon is a badass motherfucker.
Like, and the
Trigon is insane.
I mean, just look at him sitting on the Titan's Tower as a fucking throne.
Yeah. One thing I've always liked about this as well is that I didn't even know this myself. He beat pre-Crisis Superman. I was like, excuse me? I was like, excuse me? Like,
Trigon's like, no, I win.
Yeah, I mean, Sean also mentioned, like, Raven's defeated Dr. Fate, and it was just like, oh, so is Trigon. It's like, really? I mean, one impressive thing I remember seeing years ago is how, when Darkseid confronted Trigon, Darkseid was scared of Trigon. That was my first, like, interpretation. Like, okay, if this guy can scare one of the most powerful characters, at least the character I thought at the time was the most powerful, Trigon's not to fuck with.
Yeah.
And the more comics I read, I was like, wow, what? Okay, we've heard of Justice League level threats. This is a multi-Justice League level threat. Like, when is Trigon getting into Death Battle?
Oh, that'd be
Trigon versus Dormammu sounds really fun.
I am all for that. I love Dormammu. He has a dumb name, but you know what? His design is badass.
There's like eight designs. Yeah.
Whereas
he
Trigon
usually
just
is
like,
badass.
nah, I'm gonna stick with the red skin, the multi-eyes, and the white slick hair.
God, they did not do Trigon justice in that Titans TV show. Like, I like the Titans TV show, but that version of Trigon, it's like, that's meant to be the badass motherfucker that can literally scare away Darkseid. Like, hold on, let me actually get a gif of him on Discord. Do they have it?
Although, it's not as bad as Teen Titans Go.
I don't think Trigon's appeared.
Just a joke, so...
He has. He has. They
I
dressed him up in a father's getup and was like, let's just make the episode about him being a dad, get rid of his red eyes, and just put him in a giant suit.
Oh, that is...
And then in the same episode, he pretended to be Starfire's dad, because Starfire didn't have a good one.
Okay, I was about to criticize...
Go.
I was about to criticize this design in the Titan show, but you know what? I think I would much rather the live-action Trigon, but...
It's like Hellboy.
He does.
Hellboy's action design.
He's not even as big as the house. He's actually the same size as the door. I'm not even kidding.
Hellboy versus Trigon?
Well, if we're talking comics, Hellboy is fucked.
I just said that he looked like Hellboy. I wasn't bringing it up as a matchup.
Fireball just is like... He hears someone looks like someone.
Violence!
Yes!
Fireball is that type of person. It's like, hey, this guy looks like this guy. Let them fight.
Yeah.
I just picture he goes like saying, Bill look... I mean, I'm not... Like, Bill's like, Bill looks like that really famous martial artist. Let them fight. Wait, what? Hey, Bill Sean looks like that samurai. Let them fight.
No, apparently, according to Rooster Teeth, from that one time my video got blocked, I look like fucking Sam Mitchell.
Wait, what?
I told you this story. So I was on the RTX Q&A panel for when COVID hit, and when I got the email back saying thank you for signing, they called me Sam.
I don't remember this, but that is hilarious.
That is. I wish I was there.
But, yeah, analysis-wise, I was entertained by it. I was really glad that Trigon got the highlight. If they're bigging him up this much, they must be building up to a future Death Battle.
Although,
not this season, but
I do have
in the
one
future.
issue with Raven's analysis.
Oh, yeah?
In that they don't really mention any feats of herself directly doing any of this insane shit, aside from the casually destroying a universe. And also, there's just a large portion of it that's nothing Raven.
I mean, to be fair, like, when you're talking, like, the daughter of Trigon, who she's beaten, it's it's fair to understand, especially for people who aren't really familiar with Trigon, just how absurdly powerful he is.
Yeah.
Also, I'm just watching the analysis now. I'm skimming through it, but
been condensed.
they are showing a lot of Raven's feats. Like, they're showing now she's actually fighting the Spectre and killing Trigon.
Speaking of Raven's analysis, I gotta go back for the voice actor credits for the scene real quick, but freaking Mecha Goose Howard has the voice actors now?
Oh, yeah, mate.
Yeah, Mecha Goose Howard. Just an asshole. I love that.
I remember
love
mate.
that scene so much.
I remember mate
But not-
revealing that at RTX that they were going to get voice actors, but
I didn't think it'd be so soon.
what's with Death Battle trying to expand their Death Battle lure? Are they trying to compete with Dark Souls? This
Hey,
goose was
man.
this goose was forged in a dying star between the multiverse
Bill,
of Marvel and DC.
Honest question. Mecha Goose Howard dummy. Legit question.
Do you know what? It's weird to say because this year Dummy has actually had not just a little bit of last year. Dummy has had some funny moments, but I like they're not overusing him now because the whole I'm miserable, life is horrible. You know, that was just getting tedious. Like there was no punchline or anything like that. So
Okay, I have Mecha Goose Howard's voice actors right here. It is Liam Swan and
Yeah.
Sam Mitchell.
Mate mentioned those, and yeah, I get why they got them to voice them.
Yeah. Honestly, though, they definitely did Raven's analysis a whole lot better this time around, and
Yeah.
many memorable moments overall.
Yeah,
Don't
overall,
remember Raven's analysis and Raven Twilight.
overall, both analyses were pretty good.
Yeah, I have nothing else to add really. I thought it was a good analysis. There was nothing overly bad. There wasn't anything overly amazing. It was just. Hey.
I do have one thing to say about the ending of Raven's analysis. There's clearly this just like a long pause at the very end that
Yeah.
I can
That
tell
was
is
weird.
like somewhat intended to be like a transition clip, because they don't do that anymore, it's just not there, and it's kind of jarring to just sit there in silence for like a second.
Yeah, it was jarring. It
I
was
think that was
really weird.
a little bit.
Actually, before
And
we
I
do
think-
move on, that character they brought up that they said blew up is capable of blowing up the universe, the guy who's on those discs. Is it just me, or does he look like Deadpool in a Batman outfit?
Which guy? Oh yeah, this guy.
Yeah, doesn't he kind of look like?
Kinda.
He kind of looks like Deadpool crossed with Batman.
Kind of.
I also like I do like the little lines above his head when he after the universe exploded. He's like, "Oops, did I do that?"
God damn it! I pulled a Wally West.
there's probably some context
Adam,
missing here.
I just looked at him. I don't see that at all. What are you? Where are you getting Batman cross Deadpool?
I mean, first off, the
Also-
mask with the white eyes and the little belt around him and the gauntlets and the legs. Very reminiscent of Batman a little bit, and a little bit of Deadpool's mask.
I see more Iron Man with Batman's color scheme.
Ow, you just have bad eyesight. It's typical from you at this
Yeah.
point.
Yes.
So, the last thing I want to bring up about Raven's analysis is the whole, like, how passionate Boomstick was about them shipping Raven with Beast Boy. Like, that's how all the fans feel at this point.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, at least they don't do like what they do with Spider-Man these days. At least in every timeline, they actually do get together and happy.
Well, with Raven, there was actually one, I think it was an animated movie. They were like, let's put her with Damian Wayne.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. I love the DC animated universe movies, but that was a very questionable romance chains.
Yeah.
But, you know, overall analysis, it was informative and it was fun. I was worried it was going to be a bit boring at the start, but it wasn't overly amazing, but it wasn't boring either. It was the right amount of entertaining, I'd say. So, shall we actually talk about the fight itself?
Oh, boy!
I have a surprisingly. There's like a surprising amount of references to Edgar Allan Poe in the fight that my friend pointed out to me, and it's kind of just makes the fight, to me, come across as really well written.
Yeah.
Trying to remember who wrote this episode. I think it was Leo. I can double check that though.
Yeah. Now, okay, before we talk, so I have more positives, but I really only have 2 negatives I want to get out of the way. So first off, I know this. So apparently, this is meant to be Raven's actress who was in Twilight versus Raven.
It is Kira.
Yeah. My honest opinion, I think she sounded a lot better in Raven vs. Twilight. Don't get me wrong, she had her moment. Like, the last bit of the fight, that big speech she done, that was really good. But majority of the fight...
like the voice acting here more. I don't know, it just sounds better to me.
I don't know.
I felt like they took a different approach with Raven's like voice this time around, especially considering that Kira was on a big hiatus, and then after she voiced Jolene, I feel like she put a little bit of what she sounds like as Jolene into this version of Raven.
Yeah, and we're going to get more into this later on, but the death itself, it wasn't terrible, it was just too quick for me. I feel as though you blink and you can miss it.
I really like death for a multitude of reasons.
I'm not saying it's a bad death, I'm just saying, like, you know, it did feel as though it was
Skipping
rushed.
a bit too far ahead here, but...
Yeah, but... So
I think the setup works fine for what it is.
Yeah, so I'll give my thoughts on the actual fight itself, and yeah, it was actually pretty nice. Like, I wasn't going like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like, this wasn't on the level of like Dragonborn versus Chosen Undead, Obito versus Vader. But was I bored? No, and considering that I don't really like these 2 characters, the fact I was entertained by it and I was actually hyped for both the characters sold it to me.
Yeah, it is very pretty looking. Like, especially Azarath. They did such a good job with the environment.
Yeah, it's bloody gorgeous. And even the effects, like the bird effects, man, like...
Except the White Hot Room, which is just inherently because the White Hot Room is just white.
The bird... I mean, some people consider the 2 ladies and they're hot. There's that.
The animators who did the birds, like, they were phenomenal, man. Like, if I definitely say, even though Raven's actress didn't sound as good, I do think the bird animation for her soul self way better in this one than it was in Raven versus Twilight.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I think it was... Oh yeah, here it is. The person who did the bird fight was Moro. Funny enough, we talked to Moro on their last appearance, which was Stitch versus Rocket. This was the same person who did that scene where Stitch was on fire and just screaming and running.
Wow. Okay.
So I think Moro did phenomenal with birds.
Considering that my biggest criticism with that fight was that the animation felt stale, I could definitely say this one did not have that effect. They were like, do you know what? I want to go badass for this one. My final prop I want to give before we all say our piece and move on to the death. Jean Grey's actress, she was badass, man. And honestly, her maniacal laugh, she could rival Mark Hamill as like a female Joker.
During that scene where Raven uses Zawolodo and uses a sword that they only mention in the sidebar and don't actually verbally mention, so I have no idea what the fuck it is. After that little bit, Phoenix gets cut in half and starts screaming, you can tell that she is genuinely in pain, but then the Phoenix just partially takes over her and makes her laugh like a fucking maniac. Actually, everything with Dark Phoenix, all the line deliveries are perfect.
Yeah.
Especially the little bit after she got hit with the moon.
Speaking of
that
Phoenix...
line, does she burn right before she, like, goes to kill Raven's body? It's just my favorite line in the fight. Though I don't really care for most of Jean's other lines.
I will say, by the way, because I will touch on the voice actors real quick, but by the way, these are designs by Origin. He did all the forms of Raven, Phoenix, and even what designed the sword that Prepper was mentioning.
Ever since I remember seeing Origin's first animation on Duo Dreamer's Battle Mode when he did Star Butterfly versus Steven, And honestly, people said, "Oh man, his animations could potentially rival Death Battle." And Lord of Behold, he's now on Death Battle, and he makes some of the best sprites I've seen. Like, and speaking of the sprites though,
Vision really is the GOAT.
Like, speaking of sprites, the amount of, we've always praised, like, the amount of detail they put on these sprites. Jean's facial expressions, which I'll put on screen for people, like, her little smirk when a planet's about to hit her, like, and even...
facial animations, one complaint I have is that the lip syncing does not sync at all.
I was not finished yet, you purple bastard.
Sorry, I just had to bring that up because it's been building up. I do not like the lip syncing in this episode.
I mean, it never bothered me. It never bothered me too much when it comes to the sprites because, like, when it comes to a lot of Death Battle sprites, sometimes the sprites don't even have.
When it comes to what?
Like, when it comes to Death Battle sprites, most of the time they don't even have the lips move. Like, obviously, a bit more. They have to move more recently, but when they don't, it's never really bothered me.
Right.
But
I think overall the sprites were very well done.
Them not move than have them move, but it doesn't look like it lines up.
that could be mostly a nitpick. I never had any problem with that. I mean, because honestly, credit to the.
Sorry if it comes off that it's just really distracting for me and takes me out of the fight.
I don't really see how.
Another thing I find a bit weird in the animation was this tiny bit of slow motion on Raven. I don't know. I don't know why they did that.
Oh yeah, I just got to that bit now. Actually, when after she threw those planets at Jean, and she just randomly turns around slowly. Like, okay, yeah, that was a bit of a weird animation choice. Maybe they just did that to extend the episode. I guess.
Maybe.
I interpreted her turning around slowly was Jean using her own time powers to slow down time.
Maybe.
Oh, do you know what? No, actually, rewatching it now, I get it. So it's meant to show how fast Jean Grey's moving because as Raven's turning around and it's in slow motion, Jean's moving at a normal speed and just grabs her. It's like, okay, I get that shot now. That was actually pretty badass.
And the line that I gushed over a little bit happens. I really like that line.
Yes, that was a well performance by Corey Patet. Previous appearance was Mitsuru.
Man, it's been a while. And also, kind of funny, she plays as another redhead.
Yes.
That was a joke I saw someone saw. They were like, so Corey gets all the redheads. Hey, does this mean if they bring back Urza, we're gonna get Corey?
I'm not entirely sure who Urza would fight, though.
Alright then. So we've been talking about this episode for half now. So shall we... So we've gushed about the animation and stuff like that. Anyone want to add any final bits before we get to the climax, the diff?
I have to add this. There is so many little things that are references to Edgar Allan Poe that I just didn't hear the end of from a good friend of mine.
Let's hear it.
Stuff as little as when Raven is summoning her soul self, a few times it's purged just like something in Edgar Allan Poe.
Intentional, maybe? Or maybe just...
Like Forevermore being the track name. So much as the death, her blowing out the candle, is also apparently a reference to something.
I'm not too familiar with a lot of his work, so...
Either.
Yeah, so...
I'll have to... It just really adds it to me knowing that it's all there.
Speaking of Forevermore, the soundtrack. Oh my god, it's so good.
It is really good.
Good?
The meshing of the...
see myself re-listening to it any more times than I already have.
The meshing of the two different series themes was awesome.
And
I really like the incorporations of the X-Men theme.
Yeah, same.
Hey, I will say, Brandon probably has track of the year with Fireborn, but my god, has Werewolf been killing it with all the tracks he's done.
Wolf has been doing a good job, but like you can't compete with Fireborn.
I say this comes kind of close, though.
Alright, well, speaking of close, though,
For me.
So, the ending of the fight. One thing I did like about this fight, and even the death, I wasn't sure which side was building up to the big climax, because both seemed like they had moments of overpowering the other. And even on the last one, you were thinking, right, whose attack's going to land that killing blow? The moment the Phoenix Force came out, as soon as Gina's screaming, I was thinking, okay, she's going to do something and get in close. But I was so surprised to see the thing that really amazes me. Every death battle where they discuss the Phoenix Force is like, oh, this person defeated the Phoenix Force. Or, you know, they're trying to build it up as like this big thing. So to see it just snuffed out by Raven was almost kind of like mind-boggling. It's just like, I just did not expect to see that happen to the Phoenix.
It's really like how the death is framed, and Raven blowing out the Phoenix Force just really works. And also, apparently, again, it's an Edgar Allan Poe reference, which just kind of adds to my enjoyment.
The way they've been hyping up the Phoenix Force, and the fact that they have her being defeated, kind of makes it anticlimactic. Bit.
Not really. Like, I mean, on one hand, it's like
I really see that. Like, the Phoenix Force had multiple showings of overpowering Raven and being shown to be much larger than her. I feel like Raven finally overpowering it and literally snuffing it out. Good way to end it.
It was like a birthday candle. Happy birthday, Raven. You get another victory on Death Battle.
Yeah. Like, so, yeah, my complaint about the death, I did feel as though the Phoenix Force did just get erased quickly. It's like, oh, it immediately came out. Sorry, Phoenix Force, I don't mean to misgender you. Purple, let me finish my point before you jump in.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Do I need to get the whip?
Sorry.
God damn it.
So, yeah, my main point... Purple, my main point. Yeah, it comes out and it does the howl and immediately gets blown out. And I was just like, okay, I thought it would have done a bit more than that. It was still cool animation, especially when you slow it down. But I will admit, yeah, the nice little touch of Raven blowing it out was nice. I've seen some people say that's kind of, what was the word I saw a comment say? Like, kind of undermining. And I'm just like, well... One, she nearly got killed by this character, so, you know, to have her defeat it and just give it that one last little goodbye.
Also, they've even said, like, technically the Phoenix can come back, but that's gonna take a long time.
Yeah. I mean, Jean's dead for the 17th time now. But...
18th? 17th she got cut in half. This makes 18.
No, I suppose that's kind of true. Okay, also for a moment as well, when they did show like, oh, the Phoenix Force has been defeated, and they're like, by this green thing, for a moment I thought it was Beast Boy, and I was like, wait, what? But I was like,
Beast Boy versus Ben 10 is fair then.
I think Beast Boy actually wins against Ben 10 if that was the case.
Yeah. But yeah, overall though, I liked the death, and I liked the episode. Now, Purple, you can say your thing.
Oh, I find it weird how Phoenix fires a giant fire laser thing at Raven, but then the next shot, it just goes away. It just isn't there.
Actually, let me look at that.
Raven's like, magic, poof.
Oh, yeah, let me actually kind of see that. Oh, after I go through this ad.
Ads.
Speaking of ads, today's stream is sponsored by BetterHelp.
Oh!
Oh yeah, the fact that it's sponsored by BetterHelp is just perfect for this episode.
Yeah, that must have been done intentionally. Alright, so I
doubt it, but it's still funny.
Alright, so... Oh yeah, Purple, Purple's right. Yeah, like, even she's still in the pose as well, but yet the lasers just disappeared. That's weird.
I think there's like 6 mini lasers all around Raven, but 1, they're not actually going towards Raven, and 2, Phoenix didn't fire 6 lasers, it was 1.
Weird. Also, looking back on the death now, I actually didn't realise this. I didn't realise the Phoenix Force actually covered Jean Grey, and the little tiny flame is actually the remainder of Jean Grey.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, like looking back, I was like, oh, that's actually kind of cool. Because I was thinking like, oh, what, did Jean Grey just get blown off to the side? It's like, oh no, no,
Also-
she was that tiny flame. It's like, okay, that's nice detail.
Jean Grey also name dropped the absolute GOAT, Charles Xavier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
Oh yeah, he is one of the best X-Men characters. Even if you're not a big X-Men fan, you can't help but hate Charles. Or love Charles, like.
You hate?
No, sorry, that was
hate
poor.
Charles?
No, that was poor.
What'd you say?
That was poor wording. That was poor wording. I'm sorry. Internet, forgive me, please.
Cancel Bill!
No.
Cancel Bill!
How dare
Cancel
you
Bill!
hate the GOAT, Charles Xavier.
I meant to say you can't hate the guy, not help that hate the guy. I'm sorry. Oh
God
no.
damn it,
Bro.
Bill.
Well, Sean, I saw that. I'm gonna do this.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna do that for myself, but nah, it's fine. Yeah, but yeah, I agree. You can't help but love the guy because he is such a Chad.
Bad he has like, no matchups I actually see happening.
I mean,
I don't think
there
he
is
needs a
the.
match just to show how awesome he is.
There is-
I know.
there
but
is
I
that
also want to hear Boomstick talk about the absolute GOAT, Charles Xavier.
I mean, there is that X-Men fighting game where he does fight in a wheelchair.
Oh, that's
Hey.
funny.
I think I
The
remember
only
that.
matchup for Charles that I can think of that's actually kind of good is Maruki from Persona, but even then, I don't think they're even remotely aware of it.
Yeah, I mean, there could be the Professor from Doom Patrol from DC, but it's just seeing two guys in wheelchairs fight. Maybe they could do that thing like from Scary Movie 2 when those two guys were fighting in the wheelchairs. Like when
Maybe.
they're
I want
racing.
if they do that, I want Boomstick to yell "cripple fight" like in South Park.
Oh,
Speaking of
God.
Boomstick yelling, I love the way they were like, he was like, "It's time for a bird battle!" Caw-caw!
Love it whenever they like edit that little transition thingy. I don't know what it's called officially. Love it whenever they edit it a little bit, like in like SpongeBob versus Aquaman, where they say,
Time for Aquaman's funeral!
Yeah.
Oh, I just want to quickly hear your guys' reaction to this. Yeah, this is an actual X-Men fighting game, and just look at the combos Xavier can do in a wheelchair.
"Hold on, I gotta see this shit."
What the fuck is he? How does that work?
What? I think I do remember this game.
What? Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so he's just.
I'm gonna put it on screen
What
so
the
people
fuck
can
was
see.
that?
Thank you, Extremer Games, for bringing us this
Okay.
beauty.
Hooray!
Thank you.
Although,
So there, we
Don't
can.
look at
I remember this
You're
game.
not ready for it. What the fuck?
See-
while Purple continues to lose his mind, I think it's only fair that that we bring up Mate's notes.
Yeah, so let's get Mate's thoughts on this before we move on to next time. So, and his message, so your mate's still technically part of us, just in spirit. So this is from your Mate. Pretty great episode all around. I don't know where I would place it in my rankings so far, but it's definitely in the top half at the bare minimum. The cutaways to Wiz and Boomstick are funny. Jocelyn having the Phoenix Force and Mecha Goose Howard got a laugh out of me. As did the edit about Jean dying the 16th time while they were making this episode was just too funny. Honestly, yeah, that was the biggest
Oh,
highlight
just
for me.
the best joke in Death.
That
Battle
was.
Death Battle Curse strikes again. The background was really pretty. I like the music and callback in it to the X-Men and Teen Titans theme. The visuals of the Felix Force and Soul Self look great, and seeing them clash was fun. Huge kudos to both voice actors Kira Buckland. For a moment, I thought I was going to say Buckload. I was like, wait, is this actress a shotgun? Stole the show for me. She's definitely improved since her last episode. And that last scene, I am not the daughter of a demon. I am the daughter of Azarath, Aphros, Mentrion Zymphus. That was fantastic. So overall, great episode. Yeah, honestly, that was a really
Hold
good
on.
line.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, like...
That thing in Mate's notes just made me realize something. if Raven said, "I am the daughter of Azarath," and then instead of going Azarath Metreon Zinso, she just went Metreon Zinso, that would have just flown way better. Fuck, I just realized that. Transitioning the line into her spell.
Oh, that would have actually.
Oh, that
Yeah.
would have been cool. That was so
Ah, missed
Swing
opportunity.
and a miss. Swing and a miss, Liam.
Ah, missed
Swing and a miss.
opportunity. Get Purple to write your episodes.
Anyway, yeah.
Except for
the
except for that
episode,
one
like,
episode he
in
keeps
the-
trying to bring up. Don't get him to write that.
Yeah, take that episode, put it in the same dumpster with Teen Titans Go, and burn it.
cool.
Because it's never gonna happen.
What's never gonna happen?
I'm not saying it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, have we all said our piece? Any more things we want to bring up before we move on to the next time?
So
I am good.
Confession going on. I am one of the few people who'd never had a crush on Raven.
Neither did I, to be honest. Until I saw
Me
her
neither.
adult form, I was like, okay, I'm seeing what people like.
More
Damn.
of a Starfire guy.
Yeah, she's okay.
I never really found myself attracted to any of the Teen Titans.
Well, Fireball was trying to say something. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Initially, I wasn't 100% on the result, but after looking through the comments today, yeah, I'm actually 100% happy with how it ended.